Cool. Cool. I liked it. Going with the flow is good, but during any downtime, it helps to have a couple prepared questions. I had a couple floating around in my head just in case we got some dead air, dude. Who'd you interview? Max, I interviewed Meeps Kitten on Twitch, who's Cameron Best. He flew on New Shepard. He was on NS-19 with his dad. And they flew into space. They've been across the Kármán line, which is pretty cool. Shatner interview win. Yeah. Get Strahan on here so he could roast you about the Patriot? Oh, Explosive, if you think if I had Strahan on here that I wouldn't give him crap, oh, I would. And he'd be like, what the hell? And I'd be like, don't think I wouldn't do that. I'd be like, helmet catch. And he'd be like, yeah, we still won. I'd be like, helmet catch. Probably going to watch a Netflix documentary about the commercial launch later. Just reminded me, do it. Yeah, that's cool. I think, like, maybe a day of warning is nice, though, so we can hype it up a bit. Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, Bree, that's probably a good idea. Meeps is an awesome person. Yeah. Neo, guys, I wouldn't steer you wrong with this stuff. I'm serious. I wouldn't have anybody on here that I didn't think you guys would appreciate. Straight up. Like, full freaking stop. Meeps is one of us, dude. We're good. Like, that's the kind of stuff I thought you guys would want to see, you know? Twitch is one of the best multicultural platforms out there. Regier, I've learned even little bits of languages that I never thought I would. I can say hello in like 6 languages, which is pretty cool. That's pretty neat. Never thought I would be able to do that. I mean, I'm not fluent by any means in anything but English. I only speak 2 languages, man. English and bad English, you know? But yeah, it is cool. I mean, Razy, I'm not gonna sit here and say that Twitch hasn't opened up doors I never thought would open. But yeah, there are definitely doors that opened up in my life that, didn't think would open. So apparently US people are discovering this about Ariane 5. Alright, so yeah, we'll go over into the more regular space news here. Do you know the word poyehali? The Russian saying for off we go. Or let's go. Yeah. Yeah, I know what that means. I know the context. R7 Semyorka. Should ring a few bells. Da. Bald. Yeah, I know. It was seriously interesting. I think I speak for the majority of viewers that say that I look forward to it more. Alright, cool. Switch to just chatting and back. Don't tell me what to do, drummer. I mean, hi. Alright, let me get the rest of the space links up here. It does what it is told to do. Well, I asked, but it flew past. Alright. Yeah, Kane, I know. Yeah, Bald, I saw that you just subbed, so I don't have any gauge on how long you've been watching the stream. I am a space nutcase. Yeah. Nutcase. Any rocket, any time period, any flight, whatever. My wheelhouse is the space shuttle. I love that thing. The space shuttle is amazing. That is my favorite. But that does not mean... The truth of the matter is that the space shuttle is my wheelhouse because I like the shuttle because I grew up with it. I like all rockets. The only rockets I don't like are the rockets that come down and hurt people. I don't like those rockets. Still cool technology, and I appreciate it. But I don't deal with those. The rockets that go up, send people to other celestial bodies, or send people into space, that's the stuff I know. The shortfall of gravitas has arrived. Oh, cool. Like, it's not that I don't like ICBMs. In order to understand rocketry and appreciate it and understand the history, etc., that's a part of it. It's a component to understand. Not agree with, to understand. Anyway. All right, let me get the rest of these links loaded up here, and let's go and take a look-see. So, Alright, we got some Falcon 9 news. We have, I mean, there's some pretty big news coming out of French Guiana. Some space telescope or something being launched. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. Just kidding. I know a lot about that. What? And then there's some X-59 news. That's pretty cool. I got that. I got that. 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 We got that there. Cool. You had long enough to read up on it. Oof. Been watching since just after Houston raided. Found Houston like a week ago because I was playing Kerbal, and I was like, huh, Russian streamer. Neat. Yeah. Да. Это хорошо. Русский. Роскосмos. Да. There you go. All right. That's what I mean about speaking other languages, Bald. I'm not anywhere near fluent in Russian, but I can read it on a good day. All the Russian viewers are like, no, you can't. Hey, I'm better than most, okay? I suck, but I'm better than most. Angara A5 third launch might be tomorrow or today for you. I'm not sure. Better than me, that's for sure. I mean, yeah. I mean, duh. Спасибо. All right, let's see. Let me just tee up the Starship stuff too. Okay. Has anyone played Dyson Sphere? Yeah, I've played Dyson Sphere, Mab. I played it once. And I played it for early hours. And then we did Space News. And then I went and played it again. And, you know, I turned it on, you know. Like, I used the early hour stream when I was playing Dyson Sphere to kind of understand what was going on, right? And then, you know, I started it up after Space News. And I don't know. I played it for like maybe an hour later, hour after that. Except when I went to check the clock, 10 hours had gone by. Yeah, and before I knew it, I was 15 hours deep into a stream. And I'm like, yep, okay. We might want to be careful with this game. Yeah, we might want to be careful. We might want to be careful with that. Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, it's one of those types of games. Anyway, so let's take a look here. So this link here is coming from Chris G over at NASA Spaceflight. Let me just make sure that everything good. Hey, Salaraid, 48-month resub. So, this was this morning. The doors have fully opened, and the Ariane 5 stack carrying the James Webb Space Telescope has rolled out to the pad. DSP is really good, just not that much replayability. Yep.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Iot. Nix. Iotnix. Iontix? If I'm butchering your name, you need to tell me right now. I'm sorry, but thank you for the resub. Oh, boy. If you ever want to go really off the deep end, there's a mod that connects Factorio to Kerbal Space Program. That's not a good idea. Yeah, that's not a good idea. Yep. That's not a good idea at all. Oh, Max, you gone and done it. Now you gone and done it. Max, look what you did! Look what you did! Why would you do this? Hey, there's a picture. Dude, look, there's a picture of Chris in front of the rocket. Well, that picture doesn't suck. Jeez. That's kind of cool. I just want to see these pictures from Chris. Hey, there's the upper stage fueling umbilicals. Wow, these are close-up shots that we don't really get to see. I like his t-shirt. Eh, it's okay. There's a better version of that shirt floating around. Just saying.
Discovery, go
Did you hear about the RASC Rascal competition? I've heard it in passing, but I don't recall it off the top of my head. Is it bolted down? Survey says. Well, hey, Pythos. It's time for our first 36-month inspection of the aircraft. Strip all explosives off of it and prep it for pull checks. Yes. Yeah, I'll get right on that. Yeah, that was a misclip. Just hey, yeah, guys, we're going back to keeping it classy. When Meeps was on here, we were good. We were in the clear. But yeah, just try to go back to doing the classy thing. So there's been that kind of thing. There's been a thing going on here. Where is it? So Marina Corin said who is a space reporter for the Atlantic, said that one of the Ariane engineers said that Ariane 5 is just sitting there. It's not actually bolted to the pad or anything. And the SRBs, it's so heavy that it's not going to move. The SRBs hold it up. From what they said, nothing holds it down but its own weight. What are those then? Covered in the Mylar app. If you could turn a wrench, you could work on an ejector seat. Okay. Teach me. Let's do it. Let's stream it. No, let's not stream it. That's really not a good idea. Yep, literally needs nothing else. Alex, surely there's... Okay, alright. Once again, not one of the... I'm not trying to second guess. I'm just trying to understand. Why... Surely there's a locator bolt to get the SRB onto the stand. There's got to be some kind of bolt that's holding it in, or else how are you going to pilot the SRBs into position? How are you going to get them perfectly square? There's got to be some bolt somewhere. It can't just, like, unless I'm really, really not understanding how this thing goes together. Don't they stack the SRBs first, like the shuttle? Don't call me Shirley. I think the reason that they're open is to prevent overpressure inside. Well, there's really shouldn't be any overpressure going on there. The flames are going to go down, not sideways. Could be just alignment dowels. Some variation of an index pin squared to a datum. There's got to be something. I mean, thing only goes once the solids are lit. No need to clamp it. Interesting. I mean, because the shuttle is technically bolted to the pad too. It has 8 bolts, but I'll tell you what, those 8 bolts are not there for anything else than to just keep the SRBs aligned. They literally do nothing. In fact, the SRBs on the shuttle could launch, and the bolts wouldn't do. If the bolts malfunction and they don't go off, the SRB will just rip itself off the pad. So, free floating your SRBs like that is not unfounded. The space shuttle technically, in SLS, they technically do the same thing. Like I said, those bolts are only there to basically keep the thing aligned, and when the thing is going up the crawler way so it doesn't tip over. I mean, Ariane doesn't have that problem because its crawler way, so to speak, is flat. So
Discovery, go at throttle up.
shuttle also very much tilted at ignition. That's introducing shear load, which, all right. I'm positive that there's some sort of alignment bolt or something. But yeah, I mean, SRBs are generally really freaking heavy, like really heavy. The density on SRBs is way higher than it is for like a liquid fuel tank, even when the liquid fuel tank is full. Did you do engineering in college? I'm self-taught, Bald. Yep. The shuttle doesn't fly anymore. Thank you, Soapbox. That's a very astute observation that was, added something to this conversation. You dare talk bad about my shuttle. I swear to God. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, I guess they could just sit there. I don't know, like, guess I never really thought about it. That's cool that they, I mean, yeah, once again, the shuttle does something very similar to that, but the shuttle still has locator bolts, or had, because it doesn't fly anymore. SLS has those same locator bolts. Now what? Now what are you going to do? I swear to God, if SLS hasn't flown yet, Egypt, shut up. I'll find you. I will find you. And slap you. Just big 5-star. Do kids still do that? Is that still cool? Giving somebody a 5-star where you hit them, where you slap them open hand? Don't hit people. Hitting people is wrong. But also, give them the 5-star. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. SLS hasn't flown that. Oh, thank you, Soapbox. I appreciate it. Am I Russian? Нет. No, not at all. Not even close. False. It's fiction. We made it up. It never happened. It never happened. This one was invented by a writer. You're being cringe right now. Yeah, pot, meat, kettle. Total fabrication. Hello there, I see you. Okay, Graham. Sweet. All right. So, yeah, that's pretty interesting. I mean, I don't know, man. There's got to be some kind of bolt that holds this thing down in some way, shape, or form. But maybe something got lost in translation or something. Just free-floating something like that is not the wisest decision. But then again, there are other rockets that literally just sit there. They're not bolted down. Soyuz isn't bolted down. I mean, it's just kind of sitting on a guide pin, and when its TWR gets above 1, that's when it goes. What is the size comparison between these SRBs and the shuttles? These are smaller than the shuttles. Not by much, but here. Let's see if we have a shuttle in Ariane 5 in the same... Yeah, there we go. Perfect. They're not that much smaller, but they are smaller. Not once again, not by much. These are like 2.5 meter SRBs. The shuttles are 3.7. Soyuz is frozen to the pad. How do they work, Bald? You'll ask a friend that works on Ariane bolts. You gotta have a locator somehow, Alex, and usually that's a bolt. Even an alignment dowel or something. Like, I find it very hard to believe that they're just sitting on it. But once again, that could be something that gets lost in translation. Because technically, the shuttle is sitting on the SRBs. The bolts don't do anything. They're just there to hold it in place before they move it to the pad, etc., etc. Once again, the 4 separator bolts that are on each SRB, they could not fire and the shuttle would just rip itself off the pad. Because I don't think I need to say how bad it would be having but once again, that's by design. It's on purpose. I don't think I need to tell you how bad it would be to have thermal curtain failure and have one SRB separated and not the other one. They made it that way on purpose. It's designed to shear the bolt right off. Happy Festivus. You too, Edmana. Thank you. Your holiday's already done, though, dude. It was very early this year. Hanukkah was very early. But thank you, man. I appreciate it. Happy belated Hanukkah to you, buddy. So why is it that whenever I play Kerbal, I do like 3 to 4 SRBs around the center payload, and most actual rockets are either just 2 SRBs on the side or stacked in a line? Laughs in Atlas 5. Lunar calendar. Damn moon. Just read the manual. Alright. Oh. The Ariane 5 manual. Oh yeah, of course. Every system has a manual. This one must have one too. There are multiple SRBs, Bald. Yeah. Delta 2 can have up to 9. Or could have up to 9. Soapbox. Tell us about Delta 2. Yeah. Hang on one second. Conversations. Alright, cool. Atlas 5 can fly up to 5. Atlas 5 actually has 2 configurations. It has Atlas 5 400 and Atlas 5 500. In the 400 configuration, it can have up to 3. In the 500 configuration, it can have 5. Delta could carry 4. They don't fly Delta with SRBs anymore though. And Vulcan will have 6. Bald. ULA's new Vulcan rocket will have 6 GEM-63XLs, which is that's a lot of power. Yeah. See last. Oh, yes. Vulcan hasn't flown yet. Why are you doing this to me, man? Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me? What did I do to you? I always just thought those were additional nozzles for a liquid fuel stage. No. Heck, even Ariane 4. Ariane 4 had a bunch of boosters attached to the side. Because basically, unless you're looking to vary configurations like Delta 2, 2 SRBs are less points of failure in engineering complexity than 4 or 6, especially when you're designing an SRB to go with your orbiter. In KSP, you're just working with a fixed number of parts off the shelf. In real life, engineers get to design the requirement. Yep. Max knows it. Max a pretty good Kerbal player. Yeah. Bald, you should listen to Max when it comes to KSP. I would say he's an expert. Yeah, I think that would be a really good thing to say. Hey, Nomad, what's going on? Oh, wait.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
How you doing, Nomad? It's good to see you down here for Lagos. We gotta make sure that we're giving all kinds of rocket facts to people right up until the point where we launch this sucker right up into space. Sorry. EAP, solid rocket booster. Alright, let's see. Where is it? EAP. Yep. We answer questions here, Bald. There's no stupid questions. If you're coming from... if it's genuine curiosity, there's no stupid questions. If you're just being a troll or a soapbox, then yeah, you know, then there's stupid questions. Update. The core stage and its upper stage are dropped on the launch ensemble first, then are followed by the 2 SRBs. Are you sure? I'm sorry, yes, I can't see what you're saying. You're going into a tunnel. Yes, oh, I'm sorry. Something about canceling SLA. I can't hear you. You're going into a tunnel. Sorry. So, all right, let me go back and look at this picture then. I need to learn more about Ariane 5. What's that question, Voldemort? Are you already at Ariane 5? Why don't they use SpaceX for the Webb telescope? SpaceX didn't exist when James Webb first came on the books. When the launch vehicle was decided for the James Webb Space Telescope, yeah, SpaceX wasn't here. Yeah. That's the reason. Yeah. I mean, the James Webb program has been around for a while, dude. Yeah. Yeah. SpaceX wasn't even a company yet. I think Elon Musk was working for Zip2 or PayPal or something when James Webb first came on the books. I just want to look. I want to see if we can find a video about like Ariane rockets being put together. Let's take a look. Let's try this video. Let's see. That's somebody's video. I thought that was official. Good on them. Nice. From Kinesis' website, launcher integration building. The different parts of Ariane 5 from Europe are assembled vertically in this 58-meter high building. The main cryogenic floor, the equipment compartment, and the upper floor. Added to this, there are 2 solid rocket propulsion acceleration stages from the VS sequester storage building. Ariane 5, assembly to flight. Okay, let's check this. Let's take a look-see. There's the core stage. What the hell? That's so strange. Why would you do... Okay. Why would you do this way? I'm really confused. Well, what are they... I mean, I always say, don't ask why. Ask what are they trying to do. So, they hang the core stage off of this. And they're using a vehicle stabilization system, no doubt. There's got to be something up there that they connect. They have covering on them, Milo. So, huh. Let me see something. Bingo. Yep. Thomas, look. And everybody else, look. So, I always say that rockets need an alignment dowel, right? You gotta line stuff up. I learned this from trying to make pads in Kerbal. Lining stuff up and using a datum and a locating dowel is super important, or else nothing is going to line up, and it's going to be like assembling IKEA furniture. Alright? So, look. Check this out. There's locating dowels. You can see them right there. They drop the core stage onto it. But watch. What do you see? It's only halfway down the dowel. See that? It's only halfway down the dowel. The core stage is hanging on the pad somehow. There must be some kind of leveling device in here or something, because that explains the SRB attachment point. Because they wouldn't be able to attach the SRB if it's using a slip joint like that. So structure EPC is attached to the core stage, and this is the SRBs. So if you have something that needs to slip down onto the SRBs, right? You got to move the SRB into position, and then you drop it down. That's what they do with the shuttle. The shuttle has a slip joint that looks exactly like that. So it looks like there's a leveler right here, that center thing. They level it, and they hang the core stage. Then they move the SRBs into position, and then they lower it the full way down to hook the SRBs into position. I'm not sure why you would do that, but hey, maybe that makes it so you can work on the core stage umbilical while you're putting the SRBs together. But have you experienced true level? I do think it's quite interesting how the launch plates for the SRBs slide into position. The entire thing slides into position, which is actually kind of cool. It's actually really neat. Integration with Kerbal, actually, doing this in KSP could actually work. We could integrate like this. It would actually be not the worst way to do it. Akira, I'm thankful this year. You were very kind to me. I always love the way you explain things when rocket launch. You're awesome, my man. Takes one to know one, Akira. What? Call it like I see it, man. So what Marina is saying from the Ariane Space Engineers is right. The SRBs, they're not bolted because they don't need to. The core stage is your alignment mechanism. They use the core stage as a datum to line up the SRBs, so it's a little bit backwards comparatively to how they'd put a shuttle together, which is actually really, really cool. I didn't know that. I'm learning. This is really neat. I didn't know any of this until 5 minutes ago. They sling the core stage onto the pad first, and then move the SRBs into position, and then seat the stage onto the pad. That's actually really cool. I'm not exactly sure why they need to do it that way, but I also know enough about this that I don't know enough about this, if that makes any sense. There's a very good reason why that's done that way. We're looking at an Ariane 5 go together. Bobber, a reporter for The Atlantic named Marina Corrin put out a tweet, and I know this kind of seems like, what? Dude, who put out a tweet? No, Marina's a pretty good spaceflight reporter. She does a good job. She put out a tweet that Ariane, and this is regarding the James Webb Space Telescope stack, that the Ariane 5 rocket, the SRBs aren't bolted to anything on the ground. They're actually just sitting there, and the rocket kind of sits on the SRBs. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. They have to be bolted in some way, shape, or form, but they're actually not. the way they do this is they bolt the core stage first, and if you look, the core stage has a side-mounted attachment point. See, the attachment points aren't like at 12, 3, 6, and 9 like they would be on a Saturn V or a Falcon 9 or whatever. They're only on one side, and they use the core stage. They line up the core stage to the pad, right? You can see it over here. So there's your alignment pin. And they line it up, and then they sling the SRBs into position, which is, yeah, see the pin right there? It's sitting halfway down the pin. So they'll move the SRBs into position, and they'll use the core stage as a locator, and then they'll sling it, which is actually really neat. I did, Predominant. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to put it to add it yet. I've been rather busy over the last couple of days, man. Something about some guy's birthday or whatever. I don't know. All right, Sun Temple. Happy holidays, buddy. See last. The side that gets used for alignment. All right, let's take a look. This is very interesting to understand. But once again, I don't really get why they would do this way. However, there is a very, very, very good reason why this is the way that it is. I just don't know what it is, if that makes any sense. Ariane 5 has downward-facing umbilicals, like Falcon 9. Or Falcon 9 is like this, because Ariane 5 came way before Falcon 9 did. Yeah, this is just insulative material that's covering up tanks, ullage tanks, or it could be a bunch of different things. And then there's an anodized aluminum cover here that's covering the Vulcan engine. Yeah, see? There's your hold point right there. 1 and 2. See the box? See these two, like, boot-shaped boxes on the sides? There's your explosive pins. That's your pins that hold it to the pad. It's very interesting that it's only held on one side. Do you know how strong that needs to be able to take that shear load? And then there's your locator attachments right here, these two tabs that are sticking out. I'll bet you they remove those, Thomas. I'll bet you they get rid of these pieces. And then they bolt the thing straight up. 1, 2, 3, and 4. See? Excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's really cool. That's really neat to look at. That engine kind of looks like the shape of the new model, the Poodle engine. The mainsail is what this is supposed to look like. They took reference from the Vulcan engine for the mainsail redo. Pretty sure the tabs are are alignment since there's prop lines in those boxes. Yeah, maybe. The Poodle would be the Vinci engine. Yeah. This is really interesting to see. Yeah, once again, I'm trying to kind of put together why you would mount this on one side, but you made some proof for Christmas? Woo! Well, I tell you what, that is some really nice proof that you got there. I hope you have a very good Christmas. And also, the proof is in the pudding. Remember that. I'm pretty sure that Jesus said that at some point in time. Just remember, the proof is in the pudding. Okay? I like the baby Jesus version better. Sorry, I can't keep going with that, man. What proof? 151? No, not that type of pudding. Not that type of pudding. The moment you think you got your pudding figured, you wrong. How much proof is in the pudding? Exactly 350 proofs. That voice also reminds you of Chris Farley's Matt Foley motivational speaker. I tell you what, Akira, I am 35 years old, I am divorced, and I live in a van down by the river. Here's you, here's Matt. There's you, there's Matt. We're gonna be buddies, we're gonna be pals, we're gonna be amigos. Like that? Now, young man, tell me, what do you want to do with your life? I want to live in a van down by the river. You could probably do that, but you might find yourself living in a van down by the river. Yeah, Stone. It's almost like if you drink alcohol in mass quantities very fast, yeah, your body goes, you know, I see what you're doing right now, but no. Yeah. I'd be willing to bet the Ariane 5 way of integrating is simpler, and the way that the shuttle than the way that the shuttle does it. And the way that the shuttle did it for shuttle-specific reasons, like wanting to integrate the orbiter last or not getting in the way of the wings. Yeah. That's what they told us would happen if you didn't re-enlist. Nice. Oh, I got some footage of the X-59 leaving final assembly. Oh, very nice. Yeah, Vulcan, that's cool X-59 stuff. But did you realize that Ariane 5 is hung core stage first, then SRBs? Think about that for a second. Let that pudding sink in. Okay, sink into the pudding by diving into it. Yeah, I know. That's faster. Yeah, small house or whatever. Small house is just a hipster way of saying that you live in a trailer. Change my mind. Pro tip, you can't. Give me a double wide any day, boy. Much more space. And it looks like a house. A normal house. The SRBs are assembled vertically by themselves and roll the building vertically. That's how Titan 4 did it. Yeah. They warned me not to get lost in the sauce, but now I got lost in the pudding. So that's cool. James Webb still is scheduled for launch at 7:20 a.m. on Christmas morning. Yep. How many people are going to show up for that? The weather is not looking good. The weather is trending in the wrong direction for what it's worth. But I'll be honest with you, Remo and I have redone our itinerary partially because of this launch schedule. We've decided that we want to drive to Detroit, so that's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. That's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. No, I can't. We're not streaming it. I don't have the streaming rig server set up. Question: how did Bill Nelson know Bill Cosby? How did Bill Nelson know Bill Cosby was guilty? You know what? I know the answer. I'm not saying it, and neither should you. Let's not. No, I don't feel like bringing my laptop and all the streaming setup through TSA. Screw that. I'll drive. It's fine. Damn it, Dish. Why would you do this? So, yeah, we're, because I'm, yeah, okay. See last, please. Nah, I can't hear you, S. You're going into a tunnel. You're breaking up. You're going into a tunnel. Sorry, we're just, I can't hear you. Why is it that when cell reception goes out, you only hear the part of what the other person is saying that is literally useless to the conversation. You ever notice that? You ever notice that? Somebody calls you and they're like, yeah, I'll be there at 5. All right? All you hear is, I'll be there. Have you ever noticed that? You never hear the part that you need. Like, in that particular frame of a content, like, okay, I'll be there at 5 o'clock, right? All the person needs to say is 5 o'clock. That's the only part you need to hear. But that's never the part that you hear. Important things take more bandwidth. Ah, yeah. Yeah, exactly, Vaughn. You hear I'll at o'clock. It's like, oh yeah, thanks cell phone. That really helps. It's not even like you misconstrued it to be something else. Like, it's not, you won't even get it confused. Like, I'll be at 3 o'clock. Like, there are cell phone commercials where they're like, oh, you didn't hear it right because the other person's reception isn't good and you showed up at the wrong time. Use our cell phone. No, it's not even that. You don't even mishear. You just don't hear it. You just don't hear it. It's like if I was reporting about the James Webb launch, I'd be like, all right, chat, the James Webb Space Telescope launch is going to be, so that should be a really good mission. Been studying radio communications recently, actually. It's interesting. Neat. If you need a place to host the stream, I can set up my PC. Need to know in advance, though, so I can figure it out now. Drummer, I would, as much as I want to say figure it out, it's just not a good idea. I don't think we have enough time to prep. I'm sure you said scrubbed. Yep. Let me tell you about Vietnam. In Vietnam, the James Webb. And that's all I have to say about that. And Arian 5 has left the pad. It looks like... Yep, literally. Saber, it's with it never fails. Are you high? No. No, Black Soup. Are you high? You high, my chat boy? I mean, Mappy, yeah, that's pretty much right. On caffeine, yeah, that's probably right. Huge launch tomorrow. Christmas Day got moved. Maverick, yeah, got moved a little bit. One last Arian 5 launch table fact. The table doesn't drop at any time from its rails, meaning Arian 5 launches from a train. Yeah, I like that. That's pretty cool. Hot off the press. Integrated Endangered Species Act consultation required for the SpaceX Programmatic Environmental Assessment approval is delayed to 1/31. Change was made in the database today. This was initiated when the NOAA refused to give a letter of concurrence in October as requested by the FAA. Great. That's lovely. Anyway, more space news. Let's see. Artemis 1 launch certification attained. Teams with NASA and the contractor companies recently met for a joint launch countdown and ascent simulation. One that's certified. The Kennedy launch team is ready before the first flight of the SLS and Orion rocket for the Artemis 1 mission. Can you plain English that space news, please? What do I make of that picture, S? It's boom supersonic. That's nothing we didn't know. I'll translate it in a second when we get to Starship news. Okay. So that's cool that the launch teams are ready for the Artemis 1 mission, but it is going to take a little bit of time. They did have some problem with the B channel on one of the engine controllers for engine number 4 on the core stage. What that means in plain English is that the computers that govern the rocket engines aren't working exactly how they want. They're working, but they're not working how they want. That's a really important thing to understand. It's working just fine, but it's not doing exactly what you want. It's like if you're on your computer and you have a program that's bound to start up and it's not really what you want, but it doesn't really make that big of a difference. You just right click and close it. With spaceflight, you have to make sure that everything is configured exactly how you want it. You don't want any deviations. That's bad. So NASA is going to swap that engine controller out or disable launching on startup. Well, it was the first time you loaded up the computer, drummer. First time they put the rocket together, so you're gonna have weird things that you don't want. So you got to configure it the way you want. In 2029, though, seems a little optimistic. Why would... No, it's not. It's fine, S. That's actually pretty straightforward. United has already paid for these planes. They have a huge contract with Boom Supersonic, believe it or not. You gotta blast through that dang Windows bloatware. I got you. Yes. That, in the analogy, yeah. I don't think they have bloatware on SLS, I'm pretty sure. So check this out. This is coming from Julia Bergeron over at NASA Spaceflight. A shortfall of Gravitas is coming back with the Turksat booster. That was the Turksat booster, right? Or is... Yeah. Nice boat, by the way. Does Elon go and watch his rockets launch in person? If he has time, Flykin, yeah. Yep, that was the Turksat mission. There it is on the drone ship coming back home. That was that thing's first flight, wasn't it? That was the one... I'm getting all my Falcon 9 missions confused. They're all conflated together. That was the first launch for that booster. And Turksat was the 99th land... Okay, third flight. That's right, CRS-24 was the new booster. There was Starlink, Turksat, and CRS-24 in very rapid succession. It's really... It's really hard keeping up with all of it, which, you know what? That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad problem to have. So the third flight for this booster, and then the CRS-24 booster landed on, Of Course I Still Love You, and that's actually going to be towed back. It'll probably come back tomorrow. Sooner rather than later. Merry Christmas to you, London. You just got to get link perms if you want to post something, dude. But thank you. I appreciate it. Wasn't one of them the 11th? That was the Starlink mission, Finn. Wrong coast. That is... So Paulina Kalin, actually, another photographer for NASA... has the picture of those coming in. Nope. Yep, there you go. Yeah. There's three... Well, there's not three right now. There was 3 Falcon 9s on 3 drone ships for a second, which is pretty crazy. Is the New Year's event on New Year's Eve or day? Eve. Yeah, this is Long Beach. That's Port of Long Beach right there. Man, I need you to get out of Long Beach tonight, baby. Contract that should have been to me. Johnny B. That's where Route 154 started. That's where we started. We started at Port of Long Beach. Actually, in this shot, if I'm looking at this correctly. See where this hill is over there? That's where Route 154 started. That's where we turned on the first stream to drive away. Over at the USS Iowa. Which is, yeah, over there. Cool. Sweet. Okay, next bid here is coming from ULA. Let's take a look. I mean, Apocalypse is just, if you like infrastructure, just on a side note before we get into the ULA tweet, if you like infrastructure, Port of Long Beach is ridiculous. Trains, boats, rockets, trucks, everything. There's almost every single form of logistics there save airplanes. Or sans airplanes. And even then, Long Beach Airport is not that far away. It's kind of crazy. I've missed 2 booster returns in a row now. That's wacky. One was on a day I couldn't get down to the port, and the other one was in the evening. Yep. Yeah. Loopy, they're launching so much, I don't... that, like, it's tough to keep track. That's what I like about driving on 95 near Newark. Yes, it's kind of like that, but bigger. Yeah, if you're driving down the Jersey Turnpike, yeah, through Newark. All the infrastructure that's there, Long Beach is bigger than that. Yeah, probably about 2 to 3 times bigger than that. It's crazy. If you stand at one side of the pier, you cannot see the other side. If you're in San Pedro, you can't see downtown Long Beach. It's that far away. Casper, I certainly can attest to that about Long Beach. It's nuts how big that port is. Here, I'll show you real quick. Coming in at inconvenient times for me to go visit Port Canaveral. Loopy, do you have to ride your bike there, dude? I hope not. You'd take an Uber or something, right? Yeah, see? Here it is. SpaceX's port is right here. So Pauline took those pictures from over here, looking this way, on that dock right there. SpaceX leased basically from here over. SpaceX has all of this and that pier right there. Now the buses are solid. They just don't run the buses on Sundays and stop running them early-ish. Buses have a bike rack on the front that folds out. Oh, cool. Circling back around to that photo of the booster on the barge, what are those orange things on the legs? They look like they were hiding something, maybe. Those are... That's part of the pier, man. I forget the exact name for this and that. These. Let me see. Oh, those things. That's part of the Octo Grabber, dude. It's a little robot that drives underneath Falcon 9, attaches to Falcon 9's hold down points. It actually lifts the rocket up a little bit to get the weight off of the landing legs and literally sets itself down. Here, yeah, Flankin, this is nuts. You'll appreciate this, though. It's called Octo Grabber. It is a robot tank. Yeah, a robot tank. It drives underneath Falcon 9 with its tank treads, right? And keep in mind, the tank treads are variable height. It can actually lower this plate, the riveted steel. It can lower that onto the deck. The tank treads can retract upwards. So it drives underneath Falcon 9, plants itself on the ground, and then attaches automatically. This happens all by itself. It's totally automated. This stuff these pistons right here go up and attach, and they clamp to the hold down points. The reason why they do that, the reason why they do this is so Falcon 9 doesn't tip. The Octo Grabber essentially acts as a gigantic freaking counterweight. So the booster doesn't fall off the drone ship. Here, I can show you. It's from Bum ba bum ba bum ba bum ba ba da da dum ba dum dum ba da 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 dum ba dun da 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 dun da dun da da.
Go at throttle.
Ba da da da. I can't play the music. Sorry. Mufasa, 30-month resub. So it doesn't do this. This is fine. Yeah, the Leaning Tower of Tycom. That booster is still around. That's the one that's at KSEVC. When we say that Falcon 9 is actually super light when it lands, we ain't kidding. That's why it only basically needs one engine. I mean, look at it. I mean, it's not... Don't get me wrong. You and I couldn't move that thing. It's a 15-story building, but Waves can. Look at that. Pretty nuts, huh? How about how much weight when it lands? Enough to be able to do that. I don't know what its dry mass is. I have no idea. So yeah, that thing clamps to the rocket and it holds it in position so it doesn't do that. Yeah, that's kind of important. Hey, C-17, what's up? Oh, no, C-172. Nice. Nice plane. They lost a Falcon Heavy core stage, Killer Alpine. A Falcon Heavy core stage tipped over on the drone ship when it was on its way back and fell into the ocean. Yep. Yep, that's why those are there. Anyway, next bit of ULA news. The initial build-up for the next Atlas V mission completed today when the Centaur upper stage was lifted into place. The uniquely configured rocket featuring a single SRB will launch the USSF-8 mission with two GSSAP satellites for the Space Systems Security, or Space Systems Command. Cool. Yep, Centaur with its... So actually, this is pretty cool because everybody's all on about Rocket Lab's Neutron rocket. Atlas V in its 500 configuration hangs the upper stage, just like Neutron will. What you're looking at here is the cylindric inner stage, the conic fairing adapter here, and the two fairing walls coupled with the forward load reactor. The upper stage is actually hanging. Centaur's hanging inside of this. It's not totally hanging. The bottom is still bolted to the cylindric inner stage. But yeah, it's basically hanging. There's a second stage inside of this, hanging from the forward load reactor at the top. Yep. You can see it, it's right there. And they're gonna roll it into the vertical integration facility, or the VIF for short. The bridge crane will pick it up and it'll put it on top of the Atlas V Common Core booster, or CCB for short. If you notice what the tweet said, this is a very unique configuration for Atlas V. Atlas V has never launched in a 511 configuration. 511 designating the type of Atlas V that they're launching. It's a very configurable rocket. You can add boosters, take boosters away. It has 6 different types of payload fairings that you can launch, 3 small ones and 3 bigger ones. This one is using a bigger payload fairing, most likely due to space. They need more space than they do mass, right? So that's why it's probably using the 500 series. And this 511 rocket basically means 500 series fairing, 1 engine in the upper stage, and 1 single SRM on the side. This has 1 solid rocket motor, asymmetrically mounted, which is cool. A lot of people don't know that Atlas V launches with, anytime it has solid rocket boosters attached to it, it's asymmetric. Atlanta Motor Speedway auto-populated, that's cool. And this one just kind of weirdly had Atlas V 511 circled. That one. Yeah, 6 different types of fairings, Procyon. 3 of these, they have 3 of these bigger ones, and then 3 of these smaller ones. And it's just the shape. They have like a small triangle fairing, a medium triangle fairing, and a large triangle fairing. And then they have a small, medium, large of the non-triangular one. When I say triangle, I mean this one over here.
Discovery, go at
Thrust
throttle up.
vectoring makes up for the asymmetric SRB. That's correct, Milo. The RD-180 in the first stage, the Energomash RD-180, has 2 nozzles, and the nozzles can basically do this. So, like, if this one stays pointed straight down, the other nozzle can move. It can go out like this, and if you have an SRB over here, right, you go to launch, one nozzle will go out, and it'll balance out the thrust. Yep. Yeah, see, every single SRM configuration for Atlas is asymmetric, technically.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Gravioli. It's officially been a year. Well, I'll be dipped. Mm-hmm. Is Atlas 5 Starliner crewed? That looks like a capsule. Not yet. Soon. Look at DMs, some fun data to look at. Oh, neat. Cool. Yeah, Atlas 5 is crew rated and is set to launch Starliner missions to the ISS. They're just having a little bit of problems with Starliner right now. Just teething problems from making a new spacecraft. It happens. Just like SLS, it's the first time you put the rocket out on the pad. You're going to have some problems. Nothing is ever going to go exactly right. And that's something I think spaceflight fans need to understand. Sometimes you go to fly the capsule and you put it on the test stand and it blows up in your face. It happens. Sometimes the valves don't work. Sometimes the computers don't work. It happens. This is normal. This is par for the course for spaceflight. Aren't the SRB's nozzles made such that the thrust lines up with the center of mass? Yeah, the engine only does this, Alex, to avoid cosine loss. That's all. Well, not avoid it. Counter that cosine force. That's the cosine thrust loss force that is gained from turning a nozzle through the center of mass. Sometimes the IMU is installed upside down. Yep. It happens. Maybe not to that extent, PY, but maybe not to that extent.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Yeah, sometimes your guidance computer has a stack overflow because you forgot to shut off certain functions, and then the computer goes, I don't know what to do. I don't know what you're doing. That was hammer time. No, PY, no, Dimitri, that is so not right. That's so not right. Wisp, 30-month resub. Yeah, it's true. SRBs especially can have thrust variances. You get torque if you don't line up the thrust with the center of mass. Mm-hmm. Yep, nozzles are canted out. On most SRBs, yeah. Some SRBs have gimbalable nozzles. Like Delta 4, when Delta 4 would launch, they would have one SRB with a fixed nozzle and then another SRB on the side for roll control because Delta 4 has one engine. You get better control over it that way. You guys want to know how Delta 4 actually, just on a side note, how Delta 4 actually would have roll control when it was launching with no SRMs on the side? So check this out. These SRBs have gimbal on them. You can tell because there's not a heat shield, there's a heat blanket right there to take into account the nozzle moving in different directions, right? Delta 4 could launch without this. It doesn't need SRMs on the side. This is a Delta 4 medium. This is either a 4.2 medium plus or a 5.2 medium plus. Those are the two different configurations. But Delta could also launch in the medium configuration with just the RS-68. And the RS-68 uses an open cycle, meaning that it has a hydrogen turbopump and an oxygen turbopump, and the dumps from the turbopump just go out the sides, right? The RS-68 has a gimbalable exhaust from the turbines. True story. The dump from the turbine, from the turbopumps, open cycle, is what they used for the gimbal. That's what that flex joint is right there. They used it as a vernier thruster on Delta 4. Pretty crazy, right? Yeah. R68s are very underrated. It's a very, very good rocket engine. If you're going expendable. I mean, look at that. Does that look too complicated to you? It's not. I mean, yeah, it does look technically a little bit complicated, and it is complicated because it's a Hydrolox engine. But also at the same time, that's not a lot of hardware for a Hydrolox engine. Is that a mock-up, Bell? Nope. The nozzle on an RS-68 is ablative. It's literally made out of heat shield. That's why that nozzle looks weird. That's how they keep the nozzle cool. Because when you have an open cycle, you can't use film cooling. You can't dump this into the nozzle to try and get it to cool it. Open cycle is meant to keep the design simple. Very few moving parts. Two turbo pumps, Kuro, and 3, maybe the gimbal, and then a couple of pre-valves, and that's about it. Yeah. Yeah, the nozzle's made out of heat shield. That's how they keep the thing cool. Yeah, that's why it looks so weird. Yeah, RS-68s are cool engines, man. It's a shame we're only going to see 12 more of them fly, and then that's it. Is that the same style of engine as planned in the Electron? Theirs is using methane, Orion, but yeah, it's an open cycle engine like this, yeah. Did you read last? No, I didn't. Sometimes one missing bolt can bring down a huge stealth aircraft really happen. Yeah, They didn't see it coming. No? One bolt, take down a stealth aircraft. They didn't see it coming. No, nothing. Not even a shame. Damn. All right. Hey, that was a good one. Suck. Stupid chat. You really suck. I refuse to acknowledge your Gisonic jokery. It's a Gisonic symbol. Not my fault I didn't understand it. Flag stealth aircraft. It was a stealth aircraft and they didn't see it coming. Okay. Oh man, you're making me so angry. Finn, I'm trying, man. What happened to my frickin' chat? My frickin' chat is crushed to bejesus and back. Someone stole it, raced it, and brought it back. Why are you showing it to me then? Oh man, you are making me so angry. Okay, sorry. So, hot off the press. This is coming from ESG Hound. Okay. Interagency Endangered Species Act consultation required for SpaceX's programmatic environmental assessment approval is delayed to 1/31. A change was made in the database today. This was triggered when the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration refused to give a letter of concurrence in October as requested by the FAA. Programmatic environmental assessment, Procyon. The programmatic environmental assessment is literally what's holding SpaceX back from being able to launch from Boca Chica into space. Endangered Species Act consultation. Oh boy. The NOAA didn't give a letter of concurrence in October requested by the Federal Aviation
Discovery,
Administration.
go at throttle up.
Basically, hey Joseph, 16-month resub, thank you. Basically, the FAA said, this is what we found from our environmental impact assessment here. Do you agree? And the NOAA said no. Is it still under analysis? The FAA requested a letter of concurrence in October, Procyon. So, no, it's not under analysis. This is before the programmatic public comment period. Yeah, well said, Dakor. What is a letter of concurrence? Basically saying we agree with your findings and you're good to go. What are we endangering? Progress? The FAA said that they would have basically had the programmatic environmental assessment done in about a week from now, basically at the end of the year. And this programmatic environmental assessment is basically the only thing holding SpaceX back from, I mean, other than them completing their launch pad, that has a lot to do with it too. That's the only thing that's holding them back from being able to do orbital launch testing. What are we endangering? I don't know. They're endangering our sanity. See, I'm confused here. I'm confused by this news. Because I'm pretty sure, and I would need somebody that's a little bit, that understands policy a little bit better than mine, but honestly, long story short is, why does the NOAA's judgment matter here at all? And the reason why I bring it up is because I'm fairly confident that the FAA took over all duties for environmental impact. They basically streamlined the process, and that process went into effect at the beginning of this year. They streamlined the process to make it so you only need to go through one government agency to get everything you need to launch something into space. And that didn't deregulate. It just consolidated. It just took all the stuff that you need to figure out how to launch stuff into space and put it under the FAA's domain to better facilitate commercial space flight. So basically operating rockets like airplanes. So rockets are now subject, a launch site and whatnot is now subject to the same kind of constraints that an airport would be. In which case, why the heck does the NOAA need to concur with this? Because it was supposed to be under one roof. So that's kind of annoying. It doesn't matter. ESG Hound is very anti-space. Yeah, I know, Dat Boy. That guy had a lot to say during the public comment period that we listened to. If you guys remember that, that was good. I think that is for a launch license only. Interesting. Getting to space is fantastic, but potentially wiping out other species to do it ain't on. I mean, we're gonna need some space arcs at some point. What about us? Maybe SpaceX should have built all these in an approved area in the first place. Well, they're trying to get approval, and they tried to. They tried to get approval for it, and approval was going to happen, and now approval, that can got kicked down the road. So, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, maybe they should have built at the Cape. Who knows? Interesting. Anyway, we'll move on to the Starship. We'll move on to the NASA spaceflight footage from Starship. I wouldn't read too much into that. Yeah. So we'll wait and see what happens. I mean, if more assessment is needed, I don't necessarily have a problem with that, guys. I don't think SpaceX is going to have the pad done by the end of January anyway. Half of the systems are hooked up on that pad. We know literally from yesterday, from the tanking test yesterday. Half of the plumbing is hooked up. You notice how they didn't frost the upper tank? Because the part of the pad ain't finished yet. SpaceX is doing what's called parallel testing, meaning they're testing the stuff that's built. Can't test something if it's not built. Just food for thought. They are nuclear. Yep. Couldn't they start testing from there too? Yep. The upper tank almost fully frosted up. Yesterday? Are you sure? Okay, Thomas, let me rephrase that. What did they tank it with? With nitrogen. Because the methane side is not done yet. There you go. Dude, I watched that whole footage from yesterday. They didn't frost the upper tank. At least they didn't show it on here. At least I don't remember them showing it on here. So this looks like a booster, the upper bulkhead on a booster being put together. Does it say which one it is? Booster, it just says forward section. There's another roll of steel. SpaceX 908CL T4. Cool. I heard the methane tanks failed qualification. Is that possible? Don't you think if they failed qualification that we would have saw them spring a leak or something? I'm just wondering. Where'd you hear that, Starfleet, if you don't mind me asking? It's the staircase for the high bay right there. Thomas, it's also rumored that the two big main CH-4 GSE tanks failed certification and will need more time to get ready. Well, even if that is or isn't the case, I'm pretty sure SpaceX is not planning to launch in January, so whatever. They want to do more impact studies and stuff in the meantime. That's fine. Let's just make sure all those things are done when SpaceX is ready to go, am I right? That's right, TJ. That's some nice flex hose, boy. Nice, Foz. Yeah, that'd be cool. Agreed. Better to get that stuff out of the way now than to have it screw you later. Correct. Man, everything is getting delayed. Welcome to spaceflight. I mean, Cat King, that's... It happens, dude, right?
Discovery.
You've been around long enough, you know. Hey, Phil, 55 months. Thanks, buddy. It happens, dude. Annoying, but you gotta be patient. Patience is a virtue of spaceflight. Even with SpaceX, even as fast as they go, you gotta be patient. Excited for James Webb? Not excited that it's launching on Christmas morning, but yeah, for the most part. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Help anyone. Next launch, I think, is the command nuclear. There you go. Chat gotcha. It's just Santa's way of saying yeet. I don't know if the baby Jesus is gonna like launching on his birthday. Look, I like the baby Jesus version better, alright? When you have Christmas, you can use bearded Jesus or teenage Jesus. You use whatever Jesus you want. I like the baby version better, all right? Pudding Jesus. Oh, God. I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. Predominant, what is this? Japanese professor creates flavorful screen. A Japanese professor has developed a prototype lickable TV screen that can imitate food flavors. Okay, of course. Why not? I don't want that. I don't want that at all. Why not? What if you're watching, like, Saving Private Ryan or something? Sounds hygienic. Right? Just don't lick it then? Alright, that's fair. C22, you're reading the NOAA email. The National Marine Fisheries Service is mostly concerned about the lack of research into the effect of propellants and debris that could have on the coral reefs in the landing zone. Nothing about the launch site. Oh. Okay, C22. Thanks for doing some digging. Yeah, they moved Ship 21 outside. A lot of folks are saying that it might be scrap, which would be unfortunate. Hey, SBMT. All my TVs taste like it's plastic. Yeah, because it hasn't been invented yet, TJ. Why are you licking your television? NOAA is pronounced NOAA, just like NASA. Say it, don't spell it. No, I don't think I will. Ship 21 was moved on to a stand of some kind. I'll say it how I want to say it, weather guy. I told you I like the baby Jesus version better. Ship 21 was moved on to a stand of some kind and likely to getting scrapped since it's outdated and not Raptor 2 capable. Yep. I mean, Wonka did it in 71. Question is, why is it taking so long? The snozberries taste like snozberries. EJSA. Okay. Duh. You've never said Edsha. Edsha sounds like a Swedish Disney princess or something. Oh, God, what can of worms did I just open? Yeah, of course, yep. Photoshopping that now. If you're gonna do it, at least do a good job. That's all I ask, because I can't say don't do it. At least put some effort into memeing me, for Christ's sake. That's all I ask. We get it, Tank Farm, you vape. Jeez. Stop vape shaming! I didn't say it was bad, I just said we get it. I'd like to say that I know what all the plumbing on that thing does, but I'm not 100% sure, so I'm just gonna say, sit here and make vape jokes, you know? Vaping is like, we get it indeed. Yeah. Yeah. It's all natural. Just churro flavored, you know? Right, Mab? It's really cold stuff, man. Biodigital jazz, man. Damn, boy. Dang, boy, it's thick. That's a thick booster. Damn. Do you like jazz? Do you like jazz? I like the jazz flute. That would be terrible username. I don't want that. But my summer car already has boats in it, so we're good. We don't need that ever. Red Fox, I'm sorry about that. That's annoying as all hell. When are you playing MSC again? Sometime next week, Senchai. This is the last stream that I'm doing before I go on break. I'm not streaming tomorrow. Tomorrow's the travel day. I would have done it if James Webb was launching tomorrow, but it's not. So tomorrow's the travel day, so I'm not streaming. No, username, they can't. Anyone else have the trepidation that SpaceX won't be able to pull this whole thing off? All the time, Scott. Yeah, of course. What they're doing is crazy. But it's the good kind of crazy. They moved that mesh part on the concrete barrier. Oh, okay. I said do a good job, S-Master. Jesus. You just crudely pasted my head onto a Disney princess. You just crudely pasted my face over yours. Why do you want to listen to the television with the stereo on? Oh, 'cause I like to party. Of course, which meant I had to do a bad job. Oh, okay, so you do a bad job and now you make excuses too? Wait, why am I talking to you? I hate you. Oh, come on, man. We're doing all right there for a second. Oh, yeah? They did tank the upper one, huh? Why don't I remember that? It's very strange. We're not sure for this thing, Red Fox. We're not sure when it's going. You been drinking? Nah, not since this morning. Huh. As the FAA got out of the way. Not yet. Supposed to be the all the environmental stuff, concerns and stuff is supposed to be done by the end of the year, Red Fox, but we'll see. We'll wait and see what happens. I mean, either way, even if they gave him the green light right now, pad isn't finished yet. Oh. Okay. Ship 21 lifted off the transportation stand. Okay, this was last